Hey guys, welcome back to another video on implementing roles with Spatie Laravel permissions. In this video, we are going to implement roles and assign them to users dynamically. To start, let's create a new folder inside the views users directory called roles if you haven't already done that. And we'll be copying the index file from the permissions just to save our time inside the roles. And let's create a new file called index.blade.php and paste our code over there. Now, the first thing is we need to change the headers as well as the page title to the roles. Now, we need to format our view according to our need. Next, we are going to make changes to everything on this page based on the roles route. To do this, we'll need to create a new controller called roles controller with the R flag. We'll also need to add the route name to our web file. And let's open the web file and then copy the line permissions route, and then let's change it to the roles, and then let's change the controller to roles controller. Make sure it is imported on the top. Let's go to the roles controller and then change the view on the index. Let's say return view users.roles.index. After this, we need to also update on an AdminLTE file for the sidebar. So let's change the URL to route, and then let's provide the route name here as a users.roles.index. Let's confirm this by saving the file and then refreshing the browser. There you go, we got the roles, and let's click on the roles. It will redirect to the roles page. I just noticed one thing on the edit option. Whenever we click on the edit, it is not active the permission. So let's fix that one first. So say active and then provide the URL. Inside active array, we are going to provide the URL. The URL should be users/permissions/*. Let's save the file and then refresh the page again. There you go, we got the edit functionality and is active as well. Let's make the same thing for the roles as well. Let's copy this line and then make it over on the top of the roles section, and then let's add the roles, replace the permission, and then let's refresh the page again. We would have the same permission for the edit later on. So let's work on the view file. Let's close all. Let's work on the users roles index file. Very first of all, we don't need the form, so I'm going to delete that section. And I don't need this column as well. Just I'm going to move the card above that. Let's see. Let's clear out the column section and let's see if that is working fine. Yes, it is, but it is still compressed. So I'm going to move the card above the row. And let's move the error box as well. Let's refresh the page again by saving it. There you go. We got our card covering our entire page. Now let's add the create button on the header. On the next line, we do create a anchor tag. So anchor tag with the class float right, and then we also provide the button dash primary, and then button dash access. We are going to use a small button and then margin 0, and then href as a route name. So route name should be users.roles.create, and then let's provide the icon plus icon here. So I, and then class should be fas fa dash plus, and then let's provide the label as add. Let's see on the browser how it looks like. Yes, there you go, we see the button. Now we need to change the table according to our need. So we need ID, name, and users count, as well as the permissions count and actions, of course. And let's change the column on our JSON as well. So let's replace this one with the users count as a custom column, and then also the name. And let's add another custom column that should be permissions count, and let's replace this one as well. Let's replace the route. That should be users.roles.index, and we are going to maintain the index function inside the roles controller. Let's go to the roles controller, and then we are going to pass the request here first, and let's check if the request is the Ajax request, and if it is, then we are going to return this get roles, and we need to make the new function with the same name. Let's copy this one, and then let's create the private functions, and then let's paste the name get roles, and then inside the function we are going to return the data tables. Before that, we need to create the query, and then that should be data is equal to roles with count, and then inside the array we are going to pass the users as well as the permissions, and that will throw the count, and then get, and let's return data table. We need to import this one on the top, so let's import the roles as well from the Spatie, and then let's import the data table. So use data tables with S. Now let's go to our previous section, and then double colon off, and then pass the data, and then make true. That's all for the data table, but we also need to add the custom columns. So we achieve that by doing add column, and then inside the column we are going to write the column name that we are going to customize, users count, and then we create the function, and then inside the function we are going to return users count. So to get that one, row arrow function users count, and then row should be coming from the function, so let's make it here row, and let's copy this one for the permissions count. So permission count, let's make the return permissions count as well. Now let's refresh our table. It should be empty as expected. Let's check on the inspect file on the network tab, and let's refresh again, and on the data table query there should be the data. Our next step is to add the action function. So we'll copy this line, and then let's make it as an action, and then action is already done on the permission section, so we are going to copy that entire column here. Let's copy the entire column. Let's replace our action with that column, and let's change the route here, so users.roles.edit. Now we'll be working on the create roles create route. So whenever someone click on the add button, then we are going to redirect to the role create view. So here we are going to pass the permission, of course. So let's say permission is equal to permission from the Spatie, and then get, let's return view, and the view should be users.roles.create, and then we pass the permission, all the permission that we have. Permission arrow, and then $permission. Let's wrap this with the array, and let's save the file. Now the next step will be to create the roles create view file inside the users roles, and then we create the file here. Instead we just copy this one, so let's change or rename the file name as a create.blade.php, and let's change the title, should be create roles, and let's change the header as well, so let's make it as a create roles. Now we need a table here. Let's check. If we click on the add, then it should redirect us to the create route, and then create route has the table. Now we need a form here, say form action method should be post, and then let's wrap the car with the form. Remember that we have a table inside the car, so action should be route, say users.roles.store, and then let's pass the CRSF token as well. And inside the car, we don't need the header, so let's delete this header. And inside the car body, we are going to make a form components. Let's say form elements as a form group. Then let's create the label as well. For name, and then name of the role, and then let's make it as a require, should be text dash danger, and then let's give it the asterisk just for the indicator of the require for the user. And then let's give the form label as well, and then let's give the input type text, name is equal to name, and then the class should be form control, form dash control, placeholder should be, let's say, example, for example, manager. And here on the value should be our old, inside the code we just keep the name. And then let's handle the error. Let's copy this one from the permission, let's paste it over here, let's adjust the alignment, and there you go. We just completed one section. Let's copy this label and then let's make it as a assign. So our table gonna have a list of permission that we are going to assign to the role. So we need here guard, and then let's remove this 2 column. We may not need ID, but let's keep it for now. And then let's make one header. Inside the header, we are going to have a checkbox so that multiple permission can be assigned to the users. On the footer section, we are going to add the button to submit the form. So let's make the button type with the submit, and then here class should be button dash primary, and let's give the button label as a save role. Now we need to load the permission over here, but we are not going to load the permission from the create that we passed it. Instead, we are going to load from the DataTable, Ajax DataTable, from the same permission that we load from the permission controller. So let's format our need here, should be guard name, and here as well guard underscore name, and it should be here we are going to provide the permission. So again, let's reuse the same function, let's refresh it, there we go, we are getting the permission over here. But our ID and name is mismatched, we may not need the ID, so let's make it ID with the checkbox. Let's replace with the checkbox so that it's gonna have a checkbox with on that section. Let's remove the ID and let's save it and let's refresh it. Again, you might get the error, but we are getting the data as per we need. Now we also don't need this pagination, also the show functionality, so we are going to disable that one. Let's go here on the header, we just need be paginate false, and then be filter false. Let's save it, and it's still error, but yeah, those are hidden now and the number is showing. Now let's clear the things that we don't need it on from the script section. So let's clear this delete option that we don't need on this page. Now we are going to implement the data table functionality with the checkbox. So we are going to add the new column here, say chk box, and inside we are going to return the checkbox, say checkbox. Now let's call and let's refresh it. It should show without any error, but it's still giving the error. Let's check it. What is the problem? We are doing something wrong over here. Should be alright. Permission is okay. It is giving me the checkbox here. We are going to replace with the UI. Let's make it variable checkbox, and then inside it we are going to make input type as a checkbox, and then name we are going to provide permission, and then array where we are providing the dynamic name from the row. So let's display the value as a permission dash name. Let's remove this one. Let's fix it, the concatenation. So class should be permission. Okay, is still something wrong? I think the concatenation, okay, row. There should be row. There we go. We got the input type, but it is returning as a text. So we need to adjust here as a raw column. And inside it, we need to pass its raw columns, and then we are passing checkbox. So there you go. We got the checkbox on each table row. After that, we are going to add the checkbox that will allow to select all, deselect all on the header. So type checkbox, ID as all underscore permission. Let's say name as same or all underscore permission. And if you see here, then it will show the checkbox. Okay, it is sorting when we are clicking there, so we are going to disable that one. Let's make it orderable false, and let's refresh it again after saving the file. It is disabled, but it is acting weird. Let's refresh it again. Let's make it on the center, class name, and DT center. Let's see if this is working. No, let's try another one. Maybe text as center. Let's try that one. Text as center. Let's save it. Let's refresh the file. And there you go. We get the checkbox on the center. It's still showing the order arrow. So let's make it sortable false. If that disable the arrow, that will make it easier. No, it is not working. Maybe something else we will add on the video later on. Now we need to make the check functionality working with the header select and deselect option. So before assigning the table on the same function, we are going to create jQuery, say $name is equal to all underscore permission dot on is click on function. Then we are providing conditions over here. let's say $this is checked. Then we are going to perform something here, otherwise we are going to perform something over else condition. Let's make it $.is and $.permission, which should be inside code. Let's make a function again. Let's put the select function over here, $this dot prop, then checked true. It will does the job. Let's copy this one and then paste it over the else section, and then on the props we are going to make it false. That's it. Let's refresh the page after saving the file. Yeah, there you go, we got the achieve functionality over here. Now we want to make a dashboard true always. Whoever the user is, he has access to the dashboard. So to do so, before check functionality inside the each, we are going to check if the value is dashboard. So this that val is equal to is not equal to dashboard, then we are going to perform this function. We are doing same thing for the else condition as well. Whoever the user is, he will always gonna have access to the dashboard, and it will not change with the select or deselect option. So here on our permission controller, we are again going to check if the value or the row is dashboard, so that we are going to always provide true for each user. So row arrow dot name is equal to dashboard. Then we are going to make it some condition, else we are going to provide some condition. Let's copy this one. Let's paste it over the line as well, and here we are going to make it checked. That's it. Let's see if this is working. There is something wrong. Let's see what I did mistake over here. Okay, I missed the double equal to, so let's refresh it, and there you go, we got the check function already on the dashboard. And if we do select on select, then it will not hamper anything for the dashboard. And let's make it false for this one. On click, should be written false, and it will not allow to user toggle between false and true. Let's try it. Okay, it will always be true. Now we are going to save the roles. Let's request written all for now, and let's test it. Let's save it. So we got the dashboard, permission, and the name, but we don't need that one. We actually need our concatenation is wrong over here. Let's try to clean up. Let's do same for the dashboard true condition as well, and let's do same for the value as well, and below as well. Let's replace it. Let's save and then go back, and let's submit again. Submit. This is what we need, but still the permission is there. I think we make some mistake again. Let's clean a bit the concatenation issue. Let's check again. There you go. We need this one. Now we will work on our save. So we just copy the same function or validation on from the permission controller over here, and the name, we are going to validate name as a required parameter. And we are going to change the table name roles. And we need the permission as well, should be required. If it is passed, then we are going to save it. Oh, I forget to trim it, so we need to trim it always. So if it is past this validation, we are going to make another variable called role. It's equal to role.create, and then we are passing the name from request get or just name, and then we can trim it this one as well and make it is str to lower always. And we are syncing the permission with role permission. That's it. If $role is success, then we are going to give a message over here. If not, then we are going to give error message here. Let's copy this one and let's paste it over here and change the new role added successfully for the success message and redirect to the roles.index. And here let's pass it error on saving role and make it back with the input if something goes wrong. It should give us error. Yep, there you go. And let's check it and let's add new role as a manager and save the role. There you go, we added a new role called manager. And here I want to show as a capital M, so let's make it capital M over here, just by adding another row, say name, and here name, wrapping with the UC first, which will make a first letter cap. Now we are going to work on edit functionality. So here should be users.roles.edit, and on edit functionality we are going to create a new view. So let's pass it request here and comma roles, role variable, and here we are going to return a new view. So view users.roles.edit with, of course, role as a role variable. Now we need to make this new view. So let's go to the resource views and then users roles. Let's copy the create one and then rename it with edit.blade.php. Let's change the title of the page as a update role. Here update role as well, the header. Now here we are going to pass the update users.roles.update and then id role.id should be method, should be post, and we are going to add another method called put or patch, sorry. Here we are going to replace with the old value, so role task name should display the name that we click it here. It is not displayed. Let's check it again. What is happening? Role name. Let's check it by returning it. Okay, we are getting the data. Let's clear this one. Let's try again without request variable that we passed. I missed the value. Let's check on the create as well. Value, it should be. Let's check on the permission as well. Value, it's correct. Okay, let's check again. Let's edit it. And there you go. We get the manager over here. Now we need to load the permission which are selected and which are not selected. So let's make it the permission first, as same as it looked like on the table. So it should be UC first permission should be on a role. So let's say UC first role name. I changed on the wrong blade, so let's check it again. Yep, there you go. Let's make this one same as like a selected or deselected one. So we are going to call the same function, same permission index, but this time we are passing the role ID. Role underscore ID is called to role arrow ID, which we are getting from the roles edit. Now on the permission controller, this might be a bit confusing, but we are using the same function. Let's check it if it is passing the ID over there. Let's inspect it. Let's refresh the page. It is. So we are going to use this ID over on the same function here. And let's use the role ID over here, and let's pass it over function as well on the checkbox. So here on the else part, we are going to check it. Let's pass the role ID first, and here we are going to check the condition. If role ID is not equal to, then we are going to check role is equal to role colon where ID is equal to role ID. First, and role permission, we are getting role permission as well. Role arrow permission, whatever the permission on that role has, we are getting on this one. Puck name, let's make it array as well so that it will be easier to compare. So in array, in underscore array, if row arrow name is on a role permission, then it is user's role. So let's copy this one and let's paste it over here. Let's remove this false and it should be checked. Let's save it and refresh the page and see if that is working. Something wrong. Let's refresh it again on the inspect and see if what's wrong over there. Our role ID is not passed. Let's check use. It should be something like this, role underscore ID, and let's save it. And here we are also missing role, so that is the problem. Let's save and refresh it. Okay, there you go, we got it, but it's still all selected, I guess. Let's create another role which has a less permission as an operator. Let's make it dashboard only, and when we click on the dashboard edit, it should just show us dashboard is selected. Okay, that's great. Now on the update functionality, we are going to pass it as a role first and then request this validate, passing the request, and the rules should be name, required, the permission. Here if the rule is passed, then we are going to update it as a request only. Let's grab the name only, and if it is done, then let's sync the permission as well with the request permission. Here should be just name only. I think that should work. Let's again copy this one, the message. Let's copy whole and then put it as a condition. If role is success, the update is success, so role updated successfully, and here error on updating the role. That's it. Let's save it and let's refresh, and let's check if it is updated or not. I think we are doing something wrong over the condition, line number 96. Let's check it what's wrong over here. Should be, let's check with the only name. Let's try again. Let's save it again. I think that is success. So let's work on a delete functionality, which would be easier. Here let's check it if the button is clicked, and then roles that destroy, let's update the route, and the data table is the same name, so we don't have to worry about that. Let's go to the permission controller. Let's copy the destroy functionality. We have it over there. Let's copy the whole, or the just a content. You can work on that one. Let's paste it over here. Let's change the permission to roles, and let's make this one as a role as well, role variable. And if role is role and Ajax delete, then if role is deleted, all will be deleted. Let's refresh it and let's try to delete one role. Something wrong. Let's refresh it again. Okay, let's delete the data, and there you go, we achieved the functionality of delete. On the next video, we are going to implement the users, and we are going to assign the roles to that user. That's a wrap on this video, guys. I hope you found this content useful and informative. If you did, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this in the future. And if you have any suggestion for topic you would like me to cover in the future video, please leave a comment down below. I would love to hear your feedback and ideas. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.